Welcome to Messages from the Universe with Laurie Wondra. Laurie is an internationally renowned psychic medium, author, and shamanic practitioner, sharing insights from angels, guides, wisdom keepers, and teachers of the universe that help you navigate life's mysteries and transformations.
Hello, I'm Laurie Wondra, and thank you for listening. Let's talk today about what is up with the energies of July of 2026. Well, July is an 8 collective month in a universal year of the number 1. June asked us to listen, to clarify, and then to commit. But July asks us to embody what we discovered. The number 8 is the vibration of mastery, empowerment, manifestation, responsibility, leadership, and aligned actions. So where June invited reflection, July invites movement, momentum. I look at this as a month of stepping into your authority and discovering where your energy, your attention, and your choices create tangible results. Yet July is not simply about doing more, with Mercury being retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and later Saturn retrograde, all being active during this month. The universe is asking us to move forward consciously, rather than just blindly being on autopilot or automatically. This month teaches us the difference between force and alignment. The energy of Cancer dominates the first half of July, encouraging us to strengthen our emotional foundations, reconnect with what truly, truly matters, and create greater security within ourselves. As the sun moves into Leo later in the month, confidence, creativity, visibility, and self-expression then begin to rise to the surface. July reminds us that power without wisdom becomes control, and action without clarity creates confusion, and success without alignment feels very empty. But when the heart, intuition, and purpose all work together, extraordinary things can be created. Now, I look at the 3-part energetic arc of July, and those 3 parts are review, then realign, and then empower. Because July begins with that reflection as Mercury is retrograde and Neptune is retrograde. That invites us more inward, internalizing. And then the Cancer new moon helps us reconnect with our emotional truth and personal security. And then, as the month progresses, Leo energy encourages confidence, authentic self-expression. We leave with an Aquarius full moon, and it closes out the month by asking us to envision the future, embrace innovation, and consider how our gifts serve something larger and something beyond ourselves. Let's dive in and talk about the major planetary influences, and then we'll go through each individual astrological sign. So let's start with Neptune being retrograde in Aries, and that begins July 7th. And this is about spiritual clarity, identity, and dissolving illusions. Remember, Neptune is that watery big planet. So Neptune's retrograde begins in Aries, and that marks one of the most significant spiritual themes of 2026. Neptune retrograde invites us to examine where fantasy has replaced reality. Aries governs identity, courage, independence, and new beginnings. So the questions that I think will arise during this time is, who am I becoming? And looking through a lens of truth. Another question is, what vision truly belongs to me, or is it someone else's vision? And where have I been chasing an illusion? This is Neptune's, nice to be watery and fuzzy over the top. The last question is, what dream is ready to become reality? Neptune does not remove dreams, it removes distortion. So this retrograde helps reveal what is truly authentic, and what is merely wishful thinking. So be ready to let go of some things that are just merely a fantasy or a dream and it's not reality. This time will help us find the true path, and that can eliminate some of the frustration we might be carrying through dreams that are just simply never going to be fulfilled. Let's jump ahead to the new moon in Cancer on July 14th. This is emotional renewal, home, security, and of course, more intuition. This Cancer new moon arrives, opening a powerful portal for emotional healing and personal renewal. And Cancer governs those areas of home and family, emotional safety, intuition, nurturing, and simply belonging. This new moon asks, what makes me feel safe? What supports my emotional well-being? And where am I ready to create stronger foundations? This is an ideal time for intentions around family relationships, healing emotional wounds, creating a peaceful home environment, and self-care practices. This is also a time to trust your intuition, strengthen personal boundaries. Cancer reminds us that true strength begins with emotional security. And when we feel safe within ourselves, we become capable of creating meaningful change in the outer world. Now, next up is Mercury Retrograde in Cancer, and this is about emotional review, family themes, and inner conversations. Mercury remains retrograde through July 23rd, and the retrograde emphasizes family matters, home decisions, emotional communication, our memories from the past, and our inner dialogue. Old conversations may resurface, and I'd say looking at the planets, expect like some of those old feelings or conversations we have floating in the head are going to swirl around you again. These past experiences are returning to be seen, to be heard, but more importantly, to be healed. Situations that once felt unresolved may finally reveal deeper understanding. Have you ever wondered why things continue to swirl around when you think you've let them go? Well, actually, you haven't let them go at all. This is a perfect time. The universe is pushing us rather than forcing answers. July is encouraging us to reflect and ask ourselves, what am I learning from this experience? What emotional pattern is really finally ready to change? And how can I communicate with greater compassion? Then after July 23rd, I feel that communications begin to flow more naturally, more organically, and decisions become easier to make. There won't be so much watery and dust or fog around us. Now, the sun enters Leo on July 22nd, and this is about passion, creativity, visibility, joy, and heart-centered leadership. And when the sun enters Leo, the collective energy shifts dramatically. Cancer asked us to strengthen our roots. Leo asks us to shine. And it's easier to shine when we feel like our roots are grounded and anchored. Leo energy encourages creativity, confidence, leadership, being visible, self-expression, and authenticity. This is not about ego. It's about allowing your gifts to be seen. And Leo reminds us that hiding our light serves absolutely no one. So the question then becomes, where am I ready to be fully myself? To not be afraid to be seen, to be heard, to be creative, to be passionate about life. Now, we can't leave today without talking about Saturn retrograde, because Saturn is retrograde in Aries, July 26th. And this is all about maturity, responsibility, and purpose. A lot of people are afraid of Saturn energy because it tends to bring up things that we maybe don't want to look at. Saturn retrograde asks us to re-examine the structures that we're building. Do they make sense? And where Neptune asks us to review the dreams, Saturn actually asks us to review the plan to make sure that it makes sense. So this transit may bring a lot of reflection around leadership, personal responsibility, long-term goals, commitments, and of course, boundaries. Saturn asks, what am I truly committed to? What deserves my energy? And what foundation am I building for the future? Is it strong? Is it secure? Do I feel comfortable here? It's not about restriction. It's about creating something sustainable. Then at the end of the month, we have the full moon in Aquarius. So July 29th, and this full moon is about future vision, community, freedom, and innovation. It's a full moon in Aquarius. The Aquarius is the visionary, the innovator, the humanitarian, the future builder. So this full moon asks, what future am I creating? Where do I need greater freedom? And what community supports my growth? How can my gifts serve something larger than myself? So Aquarius helps us step beyond personal concerns and helps us see the larger picture. And this full moon may illuminate friendships and communities, technology and innovation, humanitarian work, future plans, authentic self-expression, and pushing us to break free from any outdated expectations. While the Cancer new moon focused on personal security, the Aquarius full moon at the end of the month asks how that security allows you to contribute to the collective. Now, I just want to touch on a few other planetary influences that are supporting this energy in July. We have Jupiter in Leo, and Jupiter continues expanding creativity, confidence, leadership, visibility, teaching us and pushing us to be more heart-centered in all our expression. Opportunities often arrive when you are willing to be seen. Uranus is in Gemini, and this is about innovation, communication breakthroughs, learning and technology, and new perspectives continue to accelerate. This also is about flexibility and letting flexibility become a new or an existing superpower that just gets amplified. And Saturn and Neptune in Aries, this is the powerhouse planets in that I am energy. And together these planets continue helping us build new identities rooted in authenticity, courage, spiritual maturity. July's retrogrades will deepen this process. Okay, let's take a look through the impact of July's energy on all the zodiac signs. You might want to listen to your sun and your rising, and some people also like to listen to their moon sign. But let's jump in and start with Aries. July invites you to review who you are becoming. Neptune and Saturn retrograde in your sign encourages deeper self-reflection about your identity, your purpose, and your leadership. The Cancer new moon highlights home and family and emotional security, while the Aquarius full moon illuminates friendships, community, and those future goals. Balance personal ambition with meaningful connections. And Taurus, well, this month encourages thoughtful communication and inner reflection. The Cancer new moon supports learning, writing, teaching, and really some deep, important conversations. And Mercury retrograde may bring old ideas or unresolved discussions back for review. Don't be afraid of that. It's to move those forward. The Aquarius full moon shines a light on career, reputation, and long-term aspirations, helping you see where your efforts are ready to grow. And Gemini, July focuses on values, resources, and your self-worth. The Cancer new moon offers an opportunity to strengthen financial foundations and recognize your true value. Now, Mercury retrograde may reveal some outdated beliefs around money or security. Let those go. The Aquarius full moon expands your vision, encourages travel, learning, spiritual growth on a broader perspective, and this is all illumination on your future. And Cancer, this is your personal new moon month. and it brings a powerful reset around identity, confidence, and emotional well-being. The universe is inviting you to reconnect with what nurtures and supports you. Now, the Mercury retrograde encourages reflection before action. The Aquarius full moon highlights trust, intimacy, shared resources, and deeper emotional transformation. And Leo, the first half of July encourages rest, healing, and spiritual reflection. But then, as the sun enters your sign on July 22nd, your energy begins to return and opportunities for visibility increase. Jupiter in Leo continues expanding your confidence and areas of influence. The Aquarius full moon brings important insights into those close personal relationships and any partnerships that you might have, helping you clarify who walks best beside you on your journey. And Virgo, well, this month it's about community, friendships, and future visions. Those all take center stage. The Cancer new moon helps you connect with supportive people and aligns with goals that resonate with your heart. Mercury retrograde may bring old friendships or group dynamics back into focus. And the Aquarius full moon encourages improvements in health, routines, work, and your daily responsibilities. Now, Libra, your focus this month is around career, leadership, and visibility. Those are all highlighted throughout the entire month of July. The Cancer new moon opens a new chapter around professional goals and public recognition. And Mercury retrograde may prompt you to reconsider a career decision or what you define as success. The Aquarius full moon reconnects you with creativity, joy, some romance, and the passions that make life meaningful. And Scorpio, July expands your perspective and invites you to think beyond any current limitations. The Cancer new moon supports learning, travel, teaching, maybe some publishing, or spiritual exploration. And Mercury retrograde may bring a reassessment of beliefs or long-term plans. The Aquarius full moon illuminates areas such as home, your family, roots, and emotional foundations. Those things that help you create greater inner stability. And Sagittarius, this month encourages transformation, deeper self-awareness. The Cancer new moon highlights intimacy, trust, healing, and shared resources. Old emotional patterns may surface through Mercury retrograde, offering opportunities for final release and renewal. The Aquarius full moon brings important conversations, maybe some fresh ideas and new ways of expressing your truth. And Capricorn, well, this month for you, relationships are going to be a major focus. The Cancer new moon opens a new cycle in partnerships, whether personal or professional. Mercury retrograde encourages patience and deeper understanding in those communications. And the Aquarius full moon shines a light on your finances, the things that you value, including your self-worth, helping you recognize where your energy creates the greatest return. And Aquarius, the Cancer new moon supports improvements in health, work, your routines, and daily habits. This is a wonderful month to create systems that support your long-term well-being. Mercury retrograde may reveal where adjustments are needed. Don't fight those. Just make the adjustments. And the full moon in your sign on July 29th brings personal clarity, completion, and illumination around you, who you are becoming, and what you are ready to release. It's a lot of truth coming up for you this year, Aquarius. And Pisces, July reconnects you with creativity, inspiration, love, and some new or renewed joy. The Cancer new moon encourages you to nurture what brings fulfillment and emotional expression. Mercury retrograde may visit old passions, creative projects, or some matters of the heart. But the Aquarius full moon invites rest, spiritual renewal, and the completion of a cycle that's been quietly unfolding beneath the surface. Overall, I'm feeling July is a really great month. It is a month of empowerment and alignment, and it does or will ask you to review what is no longer true, realign with what matters most to you, strengthen your emotional foundations, trust your intuition, share your gifts with confidence, and build a future that reflects who you are becoming. The Cancer new moon reminds you to come home to yourself. The Aquarius full moon reminds you that your light was never meant to stay hidden. When you honor both your inner world and your future vision, July becomes a bridge between emotional wisdom and empowered leadership. And from that place, manifestation becomes not something you chase, but something you embody. Hi, I'm Laurie Wondra, and before I leave today, I want to remind you of my new books, my most recent publications, Messages from the Universe book. And this is packed full of messages that we receive from the universe each and every day through nature, through animals, through the rain and the sun and the mountains and the sky, as well as the critters we walk with. And also my book and the workbook companion, The 12 Helices. This is about awakening the light codes of living. And we are in a huge space of transformation. And this information has come out at a time where I believe the universe is wanting us to have an easier journey. I want to thank you for your support in all my work, my newsletters, my books, these podcasts, sending much love and joy to all of you.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. For information about Laurie Wondra's current events or to schedule a private session, visit her website, yourlifecore.com. You can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Laurie also shares inspirational and informational messages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.